Chad.
Morning.
Look, I was wanting to talk to you some more last night. I had more to say to you, but you just took off. Why are you looking at me like that? What are you thinking?
That you're a bald-faced liar. That little baby you gave birth to yesterday was my baby, wasn't it, Whitney? Damn you, Whitney. Damn you to hell.
Chad, I'm sorry. Look, I was scared, you know? I thought I was doing the right thing.
Doing the right thing for who, Whitney?
For our baby. Look, I was trying to protect our child's future. I didn't want the whole world knowing that our son was a product of an incestuous relationship.
No, what you were doing is playing God. That baby in there's mine too, Whitney. Don't I get a say in what happens to him?
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. Of course you do, but I just couldn't bring myself to do it, you know? Not while I was pregnant, and I tried. Okay, believe me, I tried, but the truth was just, it was just too awful. No, look, don't be mad at me, okay? I was just trying to do the right thing.
But keeping my own son from me.
No, it wasn't about keeping your son from you. It was about protecting him from the world. I didn't want everyone to know that it was a product of incest.
But talk about a hypocrite. God, Whitney, you crucify your mother for not knowing I'm her son, but you know, at least she didn't lie. She really didn't know I was her son. You have done way worse than that, Whitney. You have really let me down.
Please don't be angry with me. Okay, but you know what? Now that you know, why don't we try to talk this thing out and...
No, the hell we will. Whitney, I am not letting you spend 5 minutes with my son. Okay? I want full custody.
No, you don't mean that. Let's just talk this thing
through.
We can
talk about. There's nothing to talk about. You have proven yourself an unfit mother. I am not letting my son be raised by a hypocrite and a liar. So as soon as he's well enough, he's coming home with me.
No, Chad, please don't go. Please, I'm sorry, okay? I want my baby. No, Chad, please, I want my baby, Chad.
Sweetheart? Are you okay? You were saying Chad's name in your sleep.
Did you tell him? Did you tell Chad that he's the father of your baby?
You told Chad that he's the baby's father. You told him the truth, right?
No, I couldn't do it.
Whitney.
I don't want to hear a lecture from either of you, please. I mean, it's not like I even had a choice in the matter. I have to tell you everything, Chad. I can't keep this to myself any longer.
Tell me what, Whitney?
The baby,
What about the baby? Whitney, you don't blame yourself for the baby being ill, do you? Look, he's gonna be okay. God's watching out for him. And like I said, God was watching out for us too. Keeping us from not having a child when we were together. You know, that would have been a tragedy.
oh God, Chad.
Whitney, is there something else you want to tell me?
I just feel bad Fox wasn't able to be there for the birth, that's all.
Whitney, he didn't know you were giving birth early. If he did, I'm sure he would have been here. Whitney, every father wants to be here for the birth of his child. Okay? And I'm here. Right? I'll always be here if you need me. And I'll be here for the baby too. Okay?
I started to tell him. I really did, but I just couldn't do it.
He still has to be told, sweetheart.
Excuse me, Dr. Russell. The hit-and-run victim that was admitted last night, they need you to sign off on a change in medication.
I'll be back as soon as I'm done with this. rest of it.
The rest of what?
Changed your mind about placing your baby up for adoption?
No, I haven't. I've even called the adoption people, and they're going to be here later this morning.
Whitney, that's just too soon.
No, the sooner, the better. I have to take advantage of having Fox's power of attorney before he gets back. I mean, it could ruin everything if he gets back before I get a chance to get this whole thing done.
Look, I understand that you tricked Fox into giving you his power of attorney, Whitney, but think about Fox, okay? He's gonna die when he comes home and he finds out that you've given away the baby that he thinks is his.
I'll just deal with that when that happens.
I just don't know how you can even consider giving up your own flesh and blood.
Because it's the only thing I can think of to do to protect my child's future. And my own. And you know what? I'm glad I didn't get up the courage to tell Chad the truth. It would have just made things harder anyway.
Harder for you? But what about your baby, Whitney? What about your son? It's not fair for him to never lay eyes on his own mother, Whitney. It's not fair for him to never feel your arms around him.
Look, if I see him and if I touch him, I'm not gonna want to give him away, so I can't do that.
That's because you love him. And there's no way that you couldn't after carrying him inside of you for all these months. And as much as you think that it would just be easy to let him go, he's a huge part of you, Whitney, and that's not gonna go away, no matter who raises him.
You're not really helping me here, Teresa. Come on.
I'm trying to save you from making a decision I know you will regret for the rest of your life.
I'm not gonna regret it. I'm not gonna regret it because I know it's my only choice.
It's just the worst idea you've ever had.
What idea is that?
Teresa doesn't like the idea that I didn't tell Chad the truth any more than you do.
Yeah, well, she's right, honey. He deserves to know the truth.
You know, neither of you guys were there when I was trying to tell Chad the truth. He told me outright how horrible it would be if I had gotten pregnant while we were together. Because he knows. He knows what kind of life that would be like for our child to be a child of incest.
Stop using that word. You didn't know that you and Chad were brother and sister.
Like that's gonna make any difference to my little boy when he is in school. Like the other kids are going to distinguish between whether Chad and I knew we were brother and sister or not. I mean, get real. My son comes from an unspeakable act. And the bottom line is, there's no way I'm gonna tell Chad because there's nothing he can do to fix it. Why would I want to make him suffer the way I'm suffering? Why?
Whitney, Teresa and I think that you just really aren't seeing this whole thing very clearly.
Well, I have to tell you that I think I am.
I know. I thought the same thing when I was keeping my real background from you and your father and from Simone. But you trust me. I have learned from personal experience that I was not doing the right thing. There's just nothing so shameful in anybody's background that cannot be made worse by lying about it. This is just going to end in tears. For you and for everybody else. You are Whitney with two men in love with you. Fox and Chad, and I know you cannot be comfortable lying to either one, much less both of them, about the paternity of your baby boy.
You know, you guys wouldn't be giving me such a hard time if you'd have seen the look on Chad's face when I was trying to tell him the truth. I am not about to give him the worst news of his life. And Fox either, for that matter. Because there's nothing either one of them can do to change things.
Whitney, I don't believe that.
Teresa, look, you promised me that you wouldn't tell anyone who the father of my baby really is, right?
Yes.
Mom promised me the same thing, but she lied. You told Julian.
Whitney, I told you how that came about, honey.
Look, I just need you to give me your word that you're going to prevent Julian from saying anything to Fox or Chad. Because they can never know. Well, Mom, can you at least do that for me, please?
You know, Whitney, we can talk about that later. We have much more important things to discuss now.
What? What is it?
You haven't even seen your baby yet.
And I don't want to.
Honey, you need to. He needs you, not just for the nourishment, but he needs to be held by his mother.
And I told you that I don't even want to be around it.
It's not an it. Whitney, he's your son.
You know, the last thing my son needs is to be around me. The person who ruined his life before it even started.
God, honey, what is wrong with you? Why can't you see that it doesn't matter how your son was conceived or who his father is? He's just a tiny little newborn baby, so vulnerable. He doesn't know, he doesn't care about any of those details. He just wants his mother.
And there's Fox, Whitney. What's he gonna do when he finds out that you haven't held your son? The baby that he thinks is his.
Look, Teresa, I told you. I'll deal with that when I need to, okay?
Whitney, you sound like you have some plan or some scheme or something up your sleeve. Is there something that I need to know about?
Stop badgering me. Look, I know what I'm doing where Fox and Chad are concerned, okay?
No, I'm not sure you do.
Excuse me, Dr. Russell. The x-ray room's available. If you don't use it now, you'll have to wait till this afternoon.
I'd actually like to wait here with Whitney.
No, honey, I think we should take advantage of the free time. We won't be long, Whitney.
Just believe me when I tell you that your mom and I want what's best for you.
Oh my God. How am I gonna give away my baby?
Whitney Russell?
Yeah.
I'm Harriet Wellesley. This is my associate, George Newton. We're from Chapman Pence, the adoption agency you contacted about your baby.
Just a couple of papers to sign, and then we can move forward with placing your baby for adoption.
But I just called you guys. I could have sworn the adoption procedure took a little bit longer than that.
Well, not when the birth mother is as certain as you are about what she wants to do.
So if you'll just sign these documents, we can make arrangements for your baby to be placed in a wonderful home as soon as he's released from the hospital.
With good parents, because, you know, I want him to have the best parents in the world.
That goes without saying, Whitney. Now, just sign right here.